Hey guys, Rich here. I'm going to do something that's a bit of a departure from the norm on my channel today, and that's going to be to do a review of these two sets of headphones. And I want to start out by saying that this is not a shill review. I paid for both of these sets of headphones with my own hard-earned cash. I don't have any kind of relationship with Sennheiser or with Beats. And I'm making this because I normally get it pretty right when I buy something. I do a fair amount of research, and I'm usually very happy with what I eventually land on. But in this case, I bought one of these sets of headphones and ended up being pretty disappointed. And when I bought the other set, I was just amazed at, honestly, how much better they are. So I'm going to take some time to go through this. But first, a little bit about use case and me. So I use these headphones, or I purchased these headphones for the most part for travel. I do a fair amount of air travel for work, and I'm not a huge fan of it, but the way I deal with it is I get on the plane, I get in my seat, I get my headphones on, I get my music on, or I watch a movie, and I just, I suffer through like everyone else does in coach. Notice the tagline here: upgrade to first class. Yeah, that's not me. These headphones might be somewhat of an upgrade to first class, kind of alluding to which one of these I landed on, but I fly coach, and I'm cramped in there, so anything I can do to get a little bit more comfort and kind of get into my own shell, I go for. And the headphones I used for the last 10 years while traveling are actually these guys right here. This is a set of the original Beats headphones. I purchased these. This is when they were owned by Monster. I don't believe it's owned by Monster anymore. I purchased these actually probably a little over 10 years ago when these first came out, and I love these guys. But over time, they really started to suffer from that use. You can see I've got one pulled all the way apart here. It did not come apart that far. I actually peeled that part off just to see how serviceable these would be. But what actually happened was, and I don't know if we'll be able to see it here in this light, but the material for the ear cups started to come off, and I had explored the possibility of just replacing the ear cups, but it's also separating here at the band pretty bad, and there's some hairline cracks in the plastic for the band, and I decided, you know what, 10-11 years out of these guys, it's probably time to move on. I struggled a bit with that choice because one of my favorite things about these headphones is that they are battery powered. This side opens up. See if I can do this here. Yep, these have 2 AAA batteries in them, so every time before I get on a trip, I'd pop in a fresh set of batteries, and I knew I was good to go. I didn't have to worry about charging headphones or any of that kind of stuff. I just replaced the batteries, and I knew I was good. Worst case scenario, if I forgot to change the batteries, or I left these things on in the package or something, you can see actually some of the stuff coming off of the headphones there. I could always stop and just, grab some AAAs in the airport somewhere and get back to it. But they don't sell those headphones anymore, so I went with what I thought would be the logical choice. I put in a little bit of research, and these Beats Studio3 wireless seemed like a pretty good bet. And it's kind of cute too that they are the 10-year anniversary, since I've had the other ones for 10 years. And even though these are rechargeable with a non-replaceable battery, they at least tout that you can charge them up very quickly to something, I forget what it's, they have a name for, they've branded it, yeah, here it's, I don't know if you can read that, fast fuel, 10-minute charge equals 3 hours play. So hey, that's pretty good. Figure if I get on the plane and I have forgotten to charge them or something, I've left them on or whatever, I could plug them into my little portable battery that I carry and probably get enough charge for at least a portion of the flight fairly quickly. So I got these, and I'll tell you, this thing is the box is cute, but they're a pain to get out of here, particularly with this camera in front of me here. And this, by the way, it's a trend with these headphones. They really put form and style over actual function, and this box is an example of that. My goodness. All right. So if we crack this puppy open, Decade of Defiance. And there we go. And right away, the first thing I noticed was the case on this is it's a bit thicker than the other case. Let me grab the other case here. For this case, now to be fair, this case doesn't offer that much protection. If I squeeze it, it will start to collapse, but it definitely fits in my bag a lot better than the new one. I don't know how well that's actually showing on video, but this one's probably about 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch thicker, which when going into a briefcase or whatever bag you're actually taking on the plane with you, does already start to make a difference. Second thing I ran into is this zipper case is absolutely terrible. The zipper is really, really hard to operate. Like, so hard to operate, I assume when I was first unzipping it that it must have been caught on the material. But it's not. And when I finally got it all the way unzippered and checked to make sure that it wasn't catching on anything, and then went to zipper it back up, I realized it's actually twice as hard to zipper the darn thing shut. Like, I'm not being silly here. This thing is, it's just hard to operate. So that was kind of strike one, but whatever. I'm still hoping I made the right choice. Jeez. Strike two was I got this package, I got the case opened, and okay, so I've got the headphones, and I got to tell you, I mean, these are a nice looking set of headphones. If you're buying headphones as a piece of jewelry, these probably are the ones that you want to go with. And I'm saying that even though I'm not going to be keeping this set. They really are, they're a good looking headphone. They're a little bit on the heavy side, and I've read some reviews of folks saying that they've opened this up and they actually found weights in the headphones, so they're adding more weight just to make them feel more substantial. Which, the weight does feel nice in your hands, but I can tell you when it's on your head, the lighter the headphones, the better, especially when you're wearing them for a long time. But surprised to see that there's nothing in here. There's no charging cable. There's no earphone cable. So let's dig a little further in the box. Here we go. Got a little fake carabiner clip and a charging cord and a headphone cord. I believe this has it's got talk controls and a microphone on it as well. But here's the next problem. I've tried a number of different ways, and you can't really fit these things in here. Yeah, you can kind of stuff them in. If you take them out of there really isn't room over there. There is room here and here if you were to coil them up tighter. The problem is you've got then this material against the ear cup material, which I've found over time, whatever the silicone material it is, tends to mess with the material that they use for the ear cups. So kind of, in my opinion, kind of a poor design. There's no way to really have these two things that you're going to want to make sure you carry with you in this case. Yes, if you wrap them up real tight and stick them in each time you use these, you could get them in there, but it's not user friendly. Not to mention when you finally have the darn things in there in some way, you're fighting with the case to get it closed. The other sort of just ongoing, it was always in the back of my mind that I was going to forget to charge these darn things before our trip, and I get on the plane and I'd be ready to go, and I'm not going to be able to use them. But hey, make do with what's out there, right? Well, I haven't even gotten to use these. Oh, the other thing I'll say is so sound is very subjective, right? These sound to me very similar to the wired studio headphones that I had before, with slightly lesser audio quality. The profile of the sound was very much the same. These Beats are kind of known for having a bit of a boomy sound. I don't mind that. I wish I had, the ability to not have that, depending on what type of music I'm listening to, but in general, I don't mind sort of that boomy sound. These very similar audio profile, however, being that they are wireless, the audio quality is not quite as good. If you plug the cord in, and I did try it with the cord, it does definitely sound better. And I don't notice a discernible difference between these and the original Beat Studio headphones that I had. But now this is where it gets interesting. And give me a second to clear off some space here, and I'm going to bring the other box over. About a week after I purchased those Beats, my wife sends me a link on Reddit of a comparison of what the ear pad pieces looked like on the Beats Studio wireless headphones compared to a set of Sennheisers. And the Sennheisers looked a lot better. And I'm not, that's certainly not a scientific study. I don't know that those headphones were both really used in the same way. And that did not really shape my opinion of these headphones or prompt me to buy these. What prompted me to buy these was just the fact that they existed. I'm a big fan of Sennheiser. I've got a couple other headsets from them and a set of nice, you know, just wired studio headphones that I really like. I had no idea they produced an over-the-ear noise canceling headphone targeted at travelers, and that's exactly what this is. Notice even the branding here on the box, or I should say that just the marketing like upgrade to first class, and that is who they're targeting here, and I am that target market. The only time these headphones will probably get used is on airplane trips and long car rides with the kids. You know, where I can just kind of, in either case, I can kind of just crawl into my cocoon and, you know, get past it. So let me open this up, and I'll say, even the box is easier to open than the Beats. So right away, this is a difference I really liked. Let me get the other case over here. I can fight with the zipper closed again. Oh my goodness. This is just, I can't explain how difficult it is to operate this zipper. So right away, pretty significant difference in the width of each one of these cases. Now this makes a big difference to me. It might not make a difference to you. It makes a big difference to me because I'm slipping these headphones into the soft briefcase that I carry onto a plane with me, which is the bag that I'd slip under the seat in front of me. This, even though it does have a larger profile, it fits the type of bag that I'm putting it in a lot better. Like this is, I don't know, maybe 2 inches across. I mean, this other one is probably 3.5 to 4 inches. Like it is legit. It's a really kind of, actually, you know what? So assuming both sides are equal, it is, if I center this at the zipper, and I don't know if this camera is really going to pick this up, but if I center this at the zipper, it is legit twice as thick as the other case. All right, so that was thing number one. By the way, the way that they accomplish this, you're going to see here, is their headphones fold in a different way. They actually fold flat like this. So I was excited when I got these, and I open them up, and I turn them. The first thing that surprises me is when I turn the headphones, you guys can hear that. I can actually hear the little voice in the headphones talking to me. When you just by unfolding them and turning it, they actually turn on. So there's no on switch to hunt for. They turn on automatically when you unfold them. Second thing is, and I know this is subjective as well, these are a lot more comfortable on my head, and they are a lot lighter. I probably should have grabbed my scale for this review, but these weigh probably 20 to 30% less than the Beats. In fact, I'll be honest. If I bought them as a pair of studio headphones, I would say they might feel a little bit too light. I'd probably prefer if they had added weights to them somewhere. But for a headphone that you're going to be traveling with, and for a headphone that you're going to have on your head for long periods of time in a cramped seat, lightweight is very important. The next thing that really sold me on these that I noticed right away is, look where our cords are. They're right here in the case. They actually fit. They all fit. They designed the case for the cords to fit in there. Here's my ear cord. Here's my charging cord. I don't even know what this is. Oh, look, the adapter plugs. Everything's right in the case where I'm going to find it if I maybe don't fly for 6 months and I wonder where the stuff is. And I don't know how well this is going to show up either, but they have a picture right in the fabric of this case as to how the headphones are supposed to fit in there, and added a nice pad in between so the material of those ear cups doesn't hit against anything. So I know to fold these, all I have to do is just follow the guide that's right there on the package. And I think, you know, I should point out, it is a little bit trickier to fold these than it is the Beats. I can fold the Beats, anyone can fold the Beats. A 2-year-old could fold these Beats in 5 seconds. And if I was taking these things on and off and folding them up several times a day, I don't know, maybe that would make a difference to me. These are a little bit harder to fold. If they didn't have the picture here, I might not get this back into the case the same way. But I'll take that, because the next thing I'm going to talk about is what really, really put me over the edge. These are also a noise canceling headphone. Pretty much the same features as the Beats Studio Wireless, from a noise canceling perspective and from a wireless Bluetooth perspective. And in fact, both of them support the newest profile where they pair very, very easily with an iOS device. They'll pair with any device, but they pair very easily with an Apple device, where that pairing will then also go across all of the other iOS devices you have. I can't think of the name of what that feature is right now, but it's a par comparison from a technology perspective for noise canceling and for wireless functionality. Where these guys immediately pull away from me is if they go completely flat, if the battery is completely dead, they work with the included cord. They work with a regular headphone cord. Totally flat battery. These things will work for thousands of hours, completely dead, as long as they're plugged in, just like an old school set of headphones. Now you will lose the noise canceling. The battery is required to power the circuitry in here and to get the noise canceling functionality, but they will work as a standard regular old headphone like from 20, 30 years ago, as long as they're plugged in with this cord. And you get the option, if they are charged, if you plug it in with the cord, you get the option of whether you want to use them in battery mode or regular mode. That to me is such a huge feature. I hated the idea of upgrading from my old Beats Studio headphones and knowing that I couldn't just swap another battery in, that I was going to have to remember to charge these things. So that might not mean anything to you. If you're a traveler, though, I think it probably will. I've seen plenty of people on airplanes, you know, take their headphones off in disgust because they ran out of charge and didn't have a portable battery charger or anything. And now you've got this nice pair of headphones that you're carrying around with you. You can't use them, even if they're plugged in. A couple of the nice features, and I'm not going to claim to be an expert on all the different things you can do with these headphones, but it actually has touch controls on the sides of the headphones. So you're using just gestures from your finger to change the volume. In fact, I don't know if you can hear that beeping. It's saying volume max. I swipe down, you can hear the volume going down. It says little beeps.
Volume max.
So that's pretty cool. As well as you can also control pause and play. You can hang up and answer the telephone. Oh, and that's another cool thing. So these headphones actually have a microphone array in them. You're not required to use the special cord to make phone calls. In fact, I don't even think this has, I didn't take this apart yet. Yeah, this is just a standard mini stereo. Oh, there is a pause play control on there, but the microphones are actually an array in the headphones themselves. So you can use these to make phone calls without anything extra. The battery life on these is also comparable to the Beats. They're both around 30 hours. I think these do accomplish that 30 hours with the noise canceling turned off, but still with the amplified sound on, which gives you, the touch control as well as wireless functionality. Whereas the Beats, I think, are rated at something like maybe 22-ish hours or somewhere around there. And I didn't dig into that rating. I don't know if that rating includes the noise canceling or not. The last thing I want to talk about is, remember I said the sound of the Beats, sort of the Beat signature sound is sort of that boomy bass sound. And when I first tried these, and again, I'm not going to speak a whole lot about this because I know sound is very, very subjective. But when I first tried these, depending on the audio that I listened to, depending on the type of music I was listening to, sometimes I missed that sort of boomy signature Beats sound. And I discovered that Sennheiser has an app for your phone, for both iOS and Android, that you can load in, and it actually allows you to reprogram the sound of the headphones. The app running on your smartphone communicates with the headphones and allows you to basically adjust the sound of the headphones with a full EQ or some presets. And sure enough, there is I think the EQ preset may have actually said boomy or something like that. And when I put it just one notch, I think it had like 4 settings. When I put it just one notch up, I swear these things sounded exactly like Beats. And for, again, depending on what type of audio I'm listening to, that's the sound I liked, and I was happy to find it. I found that other audio, like lighter music or just like female vocals or something like that, sounded a lot better in just the flat regular sound mode, which is not an option that you get with these guys. It's just all boomy all the time. So I guess I'll leave it there. One last thing I will say is these Sennheisers are a nice looking pair of headphones. They're definitely very much more business oriented. I'm not the type to really care that much about style either way. I'm definitely a business traveler, and I never had any problem walking around with these Beats on my head. I didn't feel out of place. I honestly don't really care what other people think of what I look like in an airport or an airplane that much. But if you are into sort of more of that sort of rap, hip-hop, stylish look, and you're getting these as a pair of jewelry, I'm not going to fault you. They're a nice looking set of headphones, and I wouldn't fault the style of these headphones at all. These are very nice as well. They're just a different look. This is very much more of a professional business traveler look. I'm going to include links to both sets of these headphones down below to Amazon. They are going to be affiliate links. It's not going to cost you a penny more to buy through those links, but if you buy through those links, I will get like $1 or $2. It helps encourage me to make things like this. So if you are interested in buying either one of these headphones, do it through those links. It gives me $1 or $2. I appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in. Again, for my regulars, I apologize. This was a bit of a departure from the type of video that I normally do, but I just wanted to share my experience. And, one other thing to mention, and I'm sure this is going to vary a bit, but at least right now, these headphones are like $50 cheaper than the Beats. And it's mind-boggling to me because the feature set on these is much larger than these. You've got touchscreen controls. You've got that app that gives you full adjustability. They've built the circuitry in these to support working both powered or unpowered. I mean, I kind of feel like Beats at this point is just, they're continuing to survive on the fact that it's a very well-known brand. They've got a lot of loyal customers, and they're a stylish looking headphone. But outside of that, I mean, if you're more interested in the functionality and the tech, the Sennheisers are the way to go. Thanks for tuning in.